Good morning and welcome to, oh, it's morning for me. It may be afternoon or evening for you. Welcome to the second episode of Conscious Communications and the Practice of No Judgment, Just Love. My name is ShaRon Rea and I am a family relationship and communication coach. The name of my business is The Whole Family Coaching. And I work with parents and families who are raising teens, families moving through divorce, fathers who are doing more jobs in the home rather than outside of the home, grandparents doing that wonderful job of raising their grandchildren, and every caregiver who is focused on raising happy, responsible, and self-confident children. I'm also the founder of a global movement called No Judgment, Just Love, which is to inspire us to live together one conversation at a time. I also know that No Judgment, Just Love can help change lives. When we choose to move beyond the judgments that divide, so we can consciously lead with love in our words, our thoughts, and our actions, then we have a better chance to truly and sincerely relate to each other better. So, these shows are brought to you by Enlightened World Network, and we've scheduled 8 of them. This is the second one. They happen on Mondays and Fridays, 3 different time zones I'm going to mention. 9 a.m. for me here in Arizona and Pacific time, noon for those of you on the East Coast, and for our wonderful friends across the pond, 5 p.m. British Standard Time. Each show will have one topic and 3 suggestions for you to consider. Now, last week was our first show and we talked about talking. I'm so grateful to everyone who tuned in, and for those of you who watched on the replay, we had over 350 views for the first show. That is humbling and also confirming that many people really want to know about communication. I know it's helped me have better conversations, be more willing to say what's on my mind. So today's topic is the opposite of talking, which is listening. Now, 3 points we're going to make with listening. The first one is blocking, the blocks that are truly stopping you from listening. The second consideration is, did you know there were different ways to listen? And then the third, words are not the only thing that you can listen to. So let's begin with the ones about blocks. Now, I believe that listening really is the foundation for communication, because when you're listening, you're learning something new. When you're talking, you're repeating what you already know. So if you can listen with the intention of understanding, then you have a better opportunity to speak to be understood. But sometimes the blocks get in our way, right? So let's begin with the first one. Sometimes when you're listening to someone, are you just trying to decide what you're going to say next, so that you're not really listening to them? Maybe they're talking about something you already know, so you feel like you don't have to listen to the full conversation that they're having with you because you're ready to jump in with your opinion. Well, that kind of puts up a block, because maybe they might say something that you hadn't heard before or you hadn't expected, and thereby you might miss a good point. So when you respond, you're not fully responding to what they said. So watch out for those times when you're deciding what you're going to say next. The next block is assuming what they might say. This one is a lot for parents of teenagers and little ones, right? Because they talk to us all the time and they usually say the same thing over and over and over again. And we might, as parents, tune them out, or our friends keep talking about the same thing or actually complaining about the same thing. So we might tune them out. But I encourage you to fortify yourself and listen to every word, especially with your children, because if they change the tone of their voice or they say one thing different, that's information for you to know not only what they're saying, but how to help them. And the third block is multitasking. Oh my goodness, how many times are we trying to have a conversation with someone in our home, and the phone rings, or the dog barks, or the doorbell rings, or I'm in the middle of fixing dinner, and you just don't have the whole attention on that person. So be careful with the multitasking while someone is speaking with you. Oh, are you guilty of this one like I am? The fourth one for blocks from listening? Interrupting. I just want to cut you off because I have something else to do. I just want to cut you off because I already know what you're going to say. I just want to cut you off because I don't really want to hear what you have to say. Well, that puts up a block if you do that too often to the people that you speak with a lot. So be careful for the interrupting. And then not caring at all. Just don't want to hear this conversation that the person is speaking. Maybe it's your 2-year-old that said it so many times. Or maybe it's just a friend who feels like they have to complain every time they talk to you. Find your strength to either end the conversation or just sit back, relax, and be a good friend or a parent that allows your child to talk and just listen. Then the one, number 6, that I have had happen to me often is selective listening. People only hearing what they want to hear from your conversation. Yeah, that's a hard one to keep listening to, because when they are saying and repeating and analyzing something that you didn't say, or only part taking it, as the news would say, out of context, it's very difficult to keep listening to someone. And then the last one, not listening at all. So be careful of those 7 blocks to listening. Now we're going on to the second one, which is, did you know that there were different ways to listen? This was news for me. When I discovered this as I was researching doing a program for the whole family coaching, because I work with schools and nonprofits and businesses, helping them create good relationships as well as build team building. And as I was researching it, I found there's more than one way to listen. So you ready? Here we go. Appreciative listening is listening just for the experience. You're not trying to debate what the person says. You're not trying to analyze what the person says. This may happen when your little children are just singing or talking to themselves in the other room. There's an appreciative listening to them and for them. It also could be with a friend who's got a wonderful story about either their vacation or something that they went through that they really want to share with you. And appreciative listening is when you just sit back and you listen. You're not trying to multitask. You're not trying to interrupt them. You're just listening. The second type of listening is critical listening. That's when you want to discover something. This works very well when you're shopping. Maybe you're shopping for an electronic and you're not sure of how it works, and the salesperson is explaining it to you. Or maybe you're in school or college and the professor is giving you a very difficult lecture where you have to listen critically. Really think about what they're saying. This takes a lot of energy to do this type of listening, because you're maybe taking notes as they're writing. You want to ask questions to make sure that you've heard what they said. So when you want to respond, you have gathered all the information that they said. That's critical thinking for learning and discovery. The next one is relationship listening. Relationship listening is an excellent way to listen to your children when they have a problem, to listen to your friend when they're concerned about something. I also call this no judgment, just love listening, because you're allowing them to tell you what's important to them. And you're not critiquing it. You're not judging whether it's right or wrong. You're listening with empathy. This really helps people feel and be heard. And then the fourth one is discriminative listening. This one happens best when you're in person. This is when you kind of allow yourself to look past the words, to the tone of the person's voice when they're talking, to their body language. Sometimes our children will come home and say, I feel great, Mom. I had a wonderful day. And you know, in your discerning, discriminative way, they're not really telling me all that's going on. So now you have the opportunity to really listen to what they say, incorporating all the parts of their speech. So those are the 4 ways that I've discovered to listen. Very different than just what we think of as opening our ears and listening to someone's voice. So the third one, which is really exciting for me, the third one is words are not the only thing that you listen to. What am I meaning by that? Well, the first thing is your body. Your body talks to you in real time. Have you ever gone to a naturopath or someone who is a fitness trainer or a health professional where they say, you know, it's very good for you to eat kale or spinach or greens 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever they tell you. And then you say, yeah, that's what I'm going to do because they're the expert and they know what's going on. But then you get home and you buy the kale and your stomach is so upset. You eat the spinach and you feel like you want to throw up. That's your body telling you, maybe the experts were right for most people, but at this moment in time, not so well for you. So listen to your body. It's talking to you. The second place that your body talks to you is through your pains or through your aches. And what I've uncovered in this spiritual journey that I'm on is that we are naturally, our bodies, at ease. That is the natural state of our bodies, is to be at ease. And when we're off a little or a lot, our body is now in dis-ease, not easy. And so your body, from your emotions, will give you some information, if you're listening to your body, about ailments or things that are going on in your body. Let's say you have a sore throat. Now, metaphysically or emotionally, what that might mean for you to listen to and uncover, what are you not saying that's important? Where are you not standing up for yourself? Also, your ears. If you have an earache, give you a short story. A couple of years ago, I was talking to a friend a lot, almost every day, and they kept saying things I really didn't want to hear. I didn't believe them. I was tired of listening, and rather than having the courage to use my voice and say, no, I don't want to hear this anymore, I got the most incredible earache in the ear that I used to hold the phone. Listening to my body, knowing that I wasn't speaking up for myself, gave me the courage to say, I can't listen to this anymore. And the third way your body talks to you is through your intuition. Your intuition is that quiet, whispering voice that you may hear in your head, you may sense and feel, and it is talking to you about your truth. It tells you the right thing every single time. And often we take our brains and we talk ourselves out of it because we either don't believe that voice, we don't think it's going to work, or we haven't experienced that before. I give you another short story. I was moving last year and I really wanted to have a place that had a good view because that's what I was coming to. I'd looked at about 12 different places and they all just didn't feel right. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the summer, is 114 degrees out here in Scottsdale. And I had this thought, get in your car and go drive here. Now, in the middle of the night, the hot, I don't want to get in my car, but I listened. I wound up at an apartment complex, which was perfect for me. And not only was it perfect for me, they had one apartment left that was exactly what I wanted. So listen to your body, listen to your aches and pains, and absolutely listen to your intuition. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope those listening techniques and tools will help you have more rich conversations and also help the people that you are listening to feel heard. So let's end with a no judgment, just love quote. Ask different questions and listen for different answers. Sometimes we get stuck in the monotony of what we know already, and we're not willing to be curious and explore. So ask different questions and listen for different answers. Now remember, there's a quote as well that the word listen contains the word silent. How interesting is that? So I appreciate you all coming and spending about 15 minutes with me every Monday and Friday. Please come back next Monday when we're talking about multi-generational communication. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, a great weekend. Speak your mind, listen with no judgment, just love, so you can make every word count. Bye now.